He could have held up and tried to run the clock down to the final. When you were down 2.
Who would do that? Like, why would you ever do that? That is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. When you're down 2, you try to score.
What could be the most infamous brawl in NBA history? There were games where tensions boiled over, players and fans clashed, and we can certainly call them the worst moments in the entire NBA history. Number 5. In pro basketball, where things can get really intense, the story about J.R. Smith and a bowl of soup is just plain crazy. It was March 2018 and the Cleveland Cavaliers were navigating through a season filled with ups and downs. J.R. Smith, known for his sharp shooting and unpredictable antics, found himself at the center of one of the most bizarre episodes in NBA history. During a regular team meeting, which usually focused on strategy and reflection, something unexpected happened. Smith, along with assistant coach Damon Jones, had a complex relationship characterized by playful teasing that occasionally went too far. However, on this particular day, things took a serious turn. In a moment of frustration, Smith threw a bowl of hot soup at Jones. This impulsive action surprised both his teammates and the wider NBA community. Why would a professional athlete resort to such an extreme reaction? In the tough world of elite sports, players and coaches have a close relationship. Smith said Jones teased him a lot when he was having a hard time on the court and in his personal life. So, when Smith threw soup at Jones, it wasn't just a sudden thing, but a reaction to ongoing teasing. Smith got suspended for 1 game by the Cavaliers because of this behavior. People talked a lot about it online, saying it's important to act professionally, especially in sports teams. This added another interesting story to Smith's career.
I've always wanted to ask you this, and why did you throw the soup?
So, Damon Jones, he's my guy. I love D. Jones. Everybody knows. But he has a knack of playing too much. And for me, like, don't get me wrong, I like to play a little joke here and there, kiki, but like, he's consistent with it. And for me, like, if I'm telling you I'm not in the mood right now, like, bro, like, I had some stuff going on at home, I wasn't playing well, I'm like, dude, not right now.
Thinking about the soup incident, we wonder how athletes deal with stress and if these things affect how the team gets along. Number 4. In 2019, a story surfaced that captured the attention of basketball fans and the public alike. It involved Rob Pelinka, the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers, and an anecdote he shared about Kobe Bryant, the legendary Lakers player. The story was about a supposed dinner between Kobe Bryant and actor Heath Ledger, which Pelinka had been recounting for years. The story goes like this. Kobe watched The Dark Knight and was so impressed by Heath Ledger's Joker that he wanted to meet him to learn about his acting. Kobe supposedly met Ledger and used what he learned to play better in a game at Madison Square Garden. But Heath Ledger had died 6 months before The Dark Knight came out, so it's impossible for Kobe to have met him. This made people wonder if the story was made up or if there was a mistake in the details. The truth came out when Kobe Bryant explained what actually happened. He said he never actually met Heath Ledger, but he was really inspired by Heath Ledger's Joker's performance. Kobe spent time alone in his room, watching The Dark Knight and learning about how Ledger got into character. This inspired Kobe to get into his own intense mindset, which he called Garden Mode, before playing at Madison Square Garden. Kobe's clarification showed that Pelinka's story was mixed up.
I remember just a really quick story. There was one time when Kobe, who I worked with for 18 years, was going back to play Madison Square Garden, and he had just seen The Dark Knight. Obviously, you guys saw that movie. And he's like, hey, hook me up with dinner with Heath Ledger, because he got so locked into that role. I want to know how he mentally went there. And so he had dinner with Heath, and he talked about how he locks in for a role, and Kobe used some of that in his game against the Knicks in terms of mental preparation. And so I know for you, your craft, your art, how you've gotten to be number one.
Kobe didn't actually meet Ledger, but he was deeply inspired by Ledger's commitment to acting. This teaches us to double-check stories before sharing, especially when they involve famous people and those who have passed away. Number 3. During the intense 2014 NBA free agency, an extraordinary story emerged, sounding more like a spy thriller than sports news. It was a story filled with mystery, gossip, and a private plane, captivating basketball fans worldwide. At the heart of it was LeBron James, perhaps the NBA's most prominent player at that time. He was a free agent, and speculation swirled that he might be going back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The mystery deepened when Twitter users noticed that Dan Gilbert, the Cavaliers' owner, had a plane headed to South Florida. This discovery sparked a frenzy of speculation online. Fans and media started piecing together the puzzle, speculating that Gilbert was flying to meet LeBron and convince him to return to Cleveland. The excitement grew so much that Gilbert felt the need to respond to the rumors himself, clarifying in a tweet that he was actually at home enjoying the weather. Even after Gilbert said he wasn't meeting LeBron, the story kept getting bigger. People tracked the plane's path in real time, and every update made it seem like a secret meeting was about to happen. The idea that the Cavs owner would do so much to bring LeBron back was exciting, but also made some people uneasy. It made them think about privacy and how far fans would go to learn about their team's future. The story of Gilbert's plane shows how closely people watch public figures and how social media can turn a regular flight into a big deal. It also shows how passionate fans can be about the game, sometimes blurring the line between being a fan and being obsessed. Even though LeBron did go back to Cleveland, the mystery of the plane trip is still a fascinating part of his career. Technology and fandom have changed the way we experience sports. Tracking Gilbert's plane is a great example of this. Now, every move, big or small, is watched, analyzed, and talked about by millions of fans worldwide. Sports have become a 24/7 event where the drama off the court is just as exciting as the game themselves. Number 2. The secret tunnel fight in the NBA is famous because no punches were thrown, even though tensions were high. It happened on January 15, 2018 when Chris Paul came back to play at the Staples Center for the Houston Rockets against his old team, the Los Angeles Clippers. The game was full of emotions and excitement, making it one of the most talked about moments in basketball history, even though nothing actually happened. As things calmed down and we learned more, the truth came out. There wasn't a big fight or any punches thrown. It turns out James Harden and Chris Paul were trying to calm things down, not make them worse. It was actually Tarek Black, not Clint Capella, who went to the Clippers' locker room, but he wasn't looking for trouble. The whole incident showed us how stories can change fast in today's world of social media and instant messaging. What started as a rumor about a big fight in the locker room turned out to be a lot less dramatic. It was more about misunderstandings and miscommunication than anything else. It made us think about the difference between healthy competition and real conflict, and it got fans and commentators thinking about how teams work together and compete. Number 1. In the summer of 2015, the NBA witnessed one of its most unusual free agency episodes, a saga involving center DeAndre Jordan, the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Dallas Mavericks. It was a story that mixed sports with social media drama, even including emojis and talk of kidnapping. Jordan, who had played for the Clippers for 7 years, said he would move to the Mavericks for a 4-year contract worth $80 million. But the NBA's rules meant no official signings could happen until July 9th at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time. That left a chance for things to change, and they did, in a big way. The Clippers got wind that Jordan was having doubts, so they quickly took action. Their goal was to convince Jordan to stick with the Clippers and not meet with the Mavericks' representatives, including owner Mark Cuban and Jordan's agent Dan Fagan. Griffin made a funny tweet with a photo of a chair blocking the door, showing their efforts to keep Jordan from meeting with the Mavericks. This led to an emoji war on Twitter, with players using emojis to show their rush and urgency. In the end, Jordan stayed with the Clippers, signing a deal worth over $87 million. The Mavericks were disappointed, and the Clippers celebrated keeping Jordan on their team. This event showed how NBA free agency can be unpredictable and how social media can influence stories and involve fans. As we think back on this crazy time in NBA history, we're left with some questions. What could have been done differently? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more.